In the workshop today, I've got an old Norton, 1938 model Norton. I'm just going to test its magneto. We'll put that spark plug into there, and we'll just earth it, and we'll see what sort of a spark we get. Now you'll see a spark jump across there. There. Another one. That spark is jumping about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm only turning it very slowly by hand. These old magnetos, these old Lucas, these old British magnetos, were not as bad as what we all think they were. They're actually quite reliable, and grab hold of that thing if you reckon they're no good. You can see there's a small gap between the points right there. Now, those points have opened as the thing rotates, and the spark has already jumped. Now, I'll turn it backwards and you'll see the points closing. Just there, they've closed. Now, the magneto spins this way, spins towards us, and when it gets to a point here, somewhere about there, you can see the points open. That is when the spark happens at the spark plug. Rotate a little bit further, and the points are fully open, and it's at that point that we adjust the gap with the feeler gauges. To adjust the point gap, we use little spanners like these, little open-enders, ignition spanners, and we use a good quality set of feeler gauges. You'll notice there's 2 nuts or 2 hexagons on the points here for adjustment. This one is simply a lock nut which you loosen a little bit. This one you use to adjust your points gap. Screw it out to decrease the gap, screw it in to increase the gap. And I might just emphasise, adjust the point gaps to what is recommended by Lucas. They seem to know all about their own magnetos, and they work well. You should aim to have those point contact faces as parallel as possible. A real good contact between, a real good contact surface there. Well, now it's time to test the old Lucas magneto and see how it really performs. You can watch it make a spark that jumps across a gap, and that'll give you a pretty good indication. You know, if you get a nice blue spark, nice sharp crack, that's a pretty good sign. But here now, not early 20th century meets the 21st century. You're going to put on this oscilloscope and give it a flick, see what happens. Now, this may not mean much to you, and that's okay, but once you understand what this thing can do, it is fantastic. It can tell you all sorts of things. You can see the spark, so to speak, with this. All it's doing is measuring voltage going upwards and time going across, but it picks up what the spark is doing in terms of voltage and duration. Now this is a fabulous pattern. This is a really big, fat, healthy looking pattern. It tells me that the condenser in there is excellent, that it is doing exactly what it should do. And look at the spike on the left side, how rapidly that rises up, goes up off the top of the screen. That is the rise of voltage immediately before the spark plug fires, and it is in nanoseconds. It's very, very rapid. This is a good spark. Now that we've seen how to adjust the points and what to look for there, next video will show you, once it's installed, how to adjust the ignition timing. That's interesting.